last public appearance at this year's Golden Globes, just 2 days before her death. The morning she died, Lisa Marie had been complaining of severe abdominal pain.
Good morning, everyone. It looks like the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has finally released their findings in regards to what caused Lisa Marie Presley's death. And it is a little bit of a surprise. And so I tried to aggregate all of the news articles and information that has come out surrounding this, break it down, and for us to get our heads around what exactly the medical condition was that caused her final passing. So the autopsy report states that Lisa Marie Presley passed away from a small bowel obstruction, and it was formed. It was in the form of a strangulated small bowel caused by adhesions that developed after she had bariatric surgery or weight loss surgery. And this surgery was reported that she had about 2 years ago.
Surgery. There are several different kinds. I have read Lisa Marie's autopsy report. She had the most advanced kind. Basically, you disconnect part of the intestines so you just don't absorb as much food, and that's how you get calorie restriction. So she had bypassed part of her intestines. They made a new connection between her stomach and her intestines. And the most common complication when you go inside the abdomen and do that kind of surgery is that scar tissue forms, and that's called adhesions. And occasionally, at any time in the future, when you've had this type of bypass bariatric surgery, those adhesions can block parts of the small intestine and cause what's called a small bowel obstruction. And that can lead to a process, if it goes on long enough, called strangulation, where the intestines actually died. And that's what happened to her. And what's really scary is 915 centimeters, which means 30 feet of her small intestines had died before she made
What
it
the
to the
report
hospital.
stated was for months she had complained of abdominal pain, fevers, vomiting, nausea, and with all of this, she did not seek medical attention. It does sort of explain her appearance at the Golden Globes. When we saw her 2 days before she passed away, she looked gaunt. She looked um, just a general malaise, unhealthy. She was staggering. And also, I noticed that she was wearing like a longer dress that may have covered a distended stomach that the report said that she had when she, arrived at the hospital. And so, in that sense, it said that she had not only a severely distended abdomen, but also severe metabolic acidosis. And metabolic acidosis is the buildup of acid in the kidney. And this is when your bodily fluids contain too much acid, or that your body is either not getting rid of enough acid or is making too much acid. And so basically, your body is not balancing um, the acid in your system, which is life threatening. The morning of her passing, she had complained, and it was reported that she had abdominal pain. Her housekeeper found her unresponsive in the bathroom. Now, at the time, she had been living with Danny Keough in his home, and this was after the passing of Benjamin. Danny Keough was Benjamin's father, her ex-husband. She had been living with him because it was too hard for her to live at the home that she lived in with Benjamin. Anyhow, he had been dropping off the kids at school. When he returned, he found the housekeeper with Lisa Marie and trying to resuscitate her. They called
Hello.
911.
Hi, sir. Listen, paramedics are already on the way. They need to get in there.
He started doing CPR. The paramedics arrived. They took over CPR. They gave her a shot of epinephrine. When she arrived at the hospital, TMZ reported that she suffered another heart attack and was pronounced brain dead, and was put on life support and in a medically induced coma. So at the time, the family then signed a do not resuscitate order in case she flatlined again. And unfortunately, she was pronounced dead soon after.
That was a rapid, very rapid time course, and that's a bit unusual. Usually, if someone is in the hospital with this sort of thing, they can even go back in and operate, do something to relieve that blockage. But she had progressed so far, it sounds like, by the time she got to the hospital, that she passed away. So it can happen, but these blockages as a result of scar tissue, but the idea that they lead to death, especially that quickly, that was more unusual. So it's really sad situation that unfolded there.
And as far as the toxicology and uh, anything that they found in her system, there was oxycodone in her system. There was an opioid that was used to treat an addiction. So there's the oxycodone, and then the buprenorphine that is used to actually counteract any addictive qualities that may form from taking the oxycontin. And then she had an antipsychotic drug, and that of course is for your mental health. But according to all of the reports, the levels were normal in regards to these drugs. They did not contribute to her cause of death. There was no injury of foul play. There's no evidence of foul play, and the manner of death was deemed natural. Well, you know, eh, it's just sad. It sounds like she went through a surgery in order to gain control of her weight. Obviously, there were complications afterwards that she dealt with for a while. She was in pain and suffering, and may or may not have masked it with the oxycodone that she was taking. But either way, she didn't seek medical treatment. There are some doctors coming out and saying this is a very unusual cause of death.
It's very rare to have a death from small bowel obstruction.
And I would think it would be because the level of pain would drive a person into the hospital before they got to the point where organs were starting to shut down and subsequently a cardiac arrest. So very sad news, different than what we expected. Nothing was going to actually sound good. She was 54 years old and passed away suddenly from a cardiac arrest. That's just, that's outside of the norm. Anyhow, that's the latest, guys.